Hey, if you're a beginner guitar player, you have landed in the perfect place. Listen, I want to share with you some information that's not so much readily on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. There's a lot of great information out there, but a lot of times the beginner guitar player is overlooked. And there's some terms and some information that's shared that's maybe over the head of the absolute beginners. So, what I'm going to do, I want to take the time and dedicate this time just for you beginner guitar players. Listen, as a young guitar player, a couple of things shook me. And one thing that would really shake me up was the term music theory. When I heard that, I said, oh my, no, there is no way in the world that I'm going to be able to learn that. And the other thing was stuck in a box, stuck in a box. I would get to a place where I could play pretty decent, but there was only certain things that I could do because I was going on muscle memory. Well, we're going to destroy that box. We're going to open up the information. We're going to have that light bulb moment. Say, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was that simple. Stay with me because I'm going to share some great stuff with you. Some of the topics I should say, that I'm going to cover is fretboard knowledge, the major scale, naming your strings, the number system, different symbols, how to build chords, basic music theory, and the terms in music, and also tuning your guitar. That is one of the most important things that you really want to know. And listen, it's not as complicated as you may think. So stay with me because we have some great information that we're going to share with you, and we're going to have some fun doing it as well. How many strings on the guitar? Answer: there are 6 strings on the guitar. And let's take a look at the guitar so we can understand exactly how the strings are running. Okay? Your first string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, and sixth string. And if you notice, we're going from top or bottom to top, from the bottom of the guitar to the top, starting with the smallest string on your guitar, which is your first string. The next string will be your second string. Following string would be your third string. Fourth string, fifth string, and sixth string. Now let's name each one of the strings because associated with each of those strings are names, okay? So let's go ahead and name the strings. So we know we have 6 strings. We start from the bottom, which is the first string. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay, let's name them now. So we have the E string. Second string is B string. Third string is G string. Fourth string is D string. Fifth string is A string. And finally, your sixth string is E string. And that is all 6 strings, and those are the names. Again, starting from the bottom, which is the littlest string, is your E string. Your second string is your B string. Your third string is your G string. Fourth string is your D string. Fifth string is your A string. And finally, again, sixth string is your E string. Let's begin with one of the most important part of gear that a guitar player could own, and that is your tuner. Without question, you need to have a tuner. There are different brands, different types, and the one that you're viewing now is a clip-on tuner. It actually clips onto your guitar and is tuned by the vibration of each string. There's a little silver button down there that allows you to turn it on. So let's take a look at it, okay? Here it is where it cuts on. A little white light will come on indicating that it's on. Click it again, it's off. And then you'll begin to clip it onto your guitar so you'll be able to use it. Now here's a demonstration how it works. Each string, you see, E string, your A string, your D string, and you notice when it's tuned, it's right down the middle. If it's to the left, it's out of tune, you need to tune it up. If it's to the right, then you need to tune it down. That's your G string. And finally, your B string there, and then your E string once again. And that's how to tune your guitar. Something weird is going on here. String number 1 and string number 6 has the same name. Why and how is that possible? String number 1 is an E and string number 6 is an E. This is actually called an octave. One note with the same name, but they have higher and lower frequencies. The pitch is higher. Let's look at an example of that. That's the first string, and that's the sixth string. Higher frequency, higher pitch, lower pitch. Play together, you have your octave. Let's talk about some symbols and terminology. So what you see here is a lowercase b, and it has flat, and then you see the number sign, and that says sharp. So when you think of flat, just like if you were thinking about a car that had a flat tire, that means that it went down. Flat means it goes down. And sharp, I would say like a knife. It has a point, and that point goes up. So sharp means it's going up. Flat means going down. Let's look at an example here. Your starting point goes down is the flat. Go back to your starting point. Goes up, and that is your sharp. Let's look at another term. What are steps/intervals? Steps or intervals are movements on your fretboard. They could be going west to east or maybe east to west, depending on how you're trying to move up and down the fretboard. Let's look at an example of that. Each movement is a step. Let's talk about the difference between a half step and a whole step. A half step is one movement from your starting point. A whole step is two movements from your starting point. Let's look at an example of that. So if you notice, the starting point to a half step was only one movement. And then a whole step from the starting point is two movements. And that's the difference between a half step and a whole step. I know you're saying by now, is it really necessary for me to know all of this information? Absolutely. Most of the time when a musician gets stuck just playing by muscle memory or by ear, they get stuck in what they call that box. I don't know where to go from here. And the reason is because they do not understand how to build chords, the notes, your fretboard knowledge, and all of that good stuff that we're going over. They have a problem with learning that first, and what they do is they jump on, just like I did when I was younger. Just started playing, and I was just using my ear, and I got stuck. But you're not. You are not. That's why we are working on this. Let's move to something else. Let's talk about how many notes are there in music. How many notes are there in music? I'm waiting for your answer. There are actually 12 notes in music. 12 notes. Let's look at our fretboard and look at these notes, okay? So if you look at the guitar, starting at the top of the guitar where the number 1 is, that will be considered our first fret, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And if you notice on the fretboard, the frets are getting smaller. The spaces are actually getting smaller. If you look at the top of the guitar, the space is a little wider there. But the further you go down, the spacing becomes a little shorter. But there are 12 notes, okay? Now, I want you to do something for homework. This is a homework assignment. I want you to learn the name of these notes, these 12 notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to start in the key of F, and then we're going to go through all of them, okay? So number 1, the first fret would be F. The second fret would be F sharp. The third fret would be G. The fourth fret would be G sharp or A flat. Same note. The fifth fret would be A. The sixth fret would be A sharp or B flat. And we'll go over that as well. Fret number 7 would be B. Fret number 8 would be C. Fret number 9 would be C sharp. Fret number 10 would be D. Fret number 11 would be D sharp. And fret number 12 would be E. And then if we had fret 13, if it was listed, it would start all over again because there are only 12 notes. So if we go past E, it begins all over again on fret 13. So let's review. What have we covered? We covered how to tune the guitar. We covered the strings, the names of the strings. We talked about tuners. We talked about steps, terminology steps, sharps and flats. We also talked about an octave, what octaves were, and different symbols. We also talked about the number of notes there are in music and how they're listed on the fretboard. So take the time, grab that information, and let's work it out.